Hell yeah, guys, what is happening? The Capitalist here with .live.net, and we are back with the semifinals, the best of three, Potm Bottom versus HelloMoto.
10 seconds remaining.
And this should be a very exciting game. If you're just now joining us, HelloMoto just took out Root Gaming, both of them up-and-coming teams battling, and HelloMoto had control of the game the whole entire time, but Root had some serious comebacks here and there. It was just, unfortunately, HelloMoto had too big an advantage early on, and it snowballed too much, way too much. They took Raxes too early, and even though they were standing off 2 racks down, in fact, even 2.5 racks down, Melee Rax was down, and Root Gaming was still holding on. HelloMoto was finally able to finish them off. Anyway, guys, unfortunately, this is going to be a solo cast because XL had to leave. You guys didn't hear that. XL has his own tournament, the ECAL League that we got going on. So he is going to be doing that. So this is the semifinals, and what we're doing right now, I think we're going to be casting both the semifinals, and the finals will be tomorrow. So, we're going to have 2 best of 3s, and we got that whole deal going on. So, bands coming out already. We got Potm Bottom banning out Brewmaster, Broodmother, and Enchantress. And then HelloMoto banning out the Lycan, Chen, and Chaos Knight. So we got the first pick, Darkseer, coming out from Potm Bottom. And man, Darkseer first picks, man. He has just been rising in popularity. I mean, he's back to his old status where he was with the Aghanims, where it would prop ally illusions. He's back to that status. I mean, he is just first pick for a lot of teams. Not every team. In fact, a lot of teams will neglect him until the 4-5 if he isn't banned out. But, bit of a favorite in some of the more North American teams. So we're going to see Enigma and Leshrac banned out, or picked up, excuse me, by HelloMoto. They love that Leshrac, man. Last time they did run him as a support hero, which was pretty interesting. But, they did very, very well with it. It all had to come down, I think, with the laning phase. I wouldn't necessarily say that Brute got outdrafted terribly hard. I think maybe minor bits and here in pieces, but they just staged the laning phase so well. And they got that initial advantage, and it just really snowballed for them very, very well with the Leshrac. They were able to push down these towers. They took control of the map. And they picked up their first racks, I believe, around the 25-minute mark. It was fairly early, and it's just so hard to come back from racks that early. We're going to see Furion and Invoker picked up by Potm Bottom. At both times now, Invoker has been saved until the very last pickup. It's the 2-3 for Potm Bottom. HelloMoto, just not... I mean, for some teams, those 2 heroes, top picks. 1-2 right there. If you're able to get him, 1-2. And sometimes you're even giving up something like a Chaos Knight first pick to another team in order to pick up Furion and Invoker as your 1-2. But HelloMoto, they really like their Leshrac, and they're going to just full out on Enigma this time. I think they're going full out maybe on a push strat here. We got the Windrunner coming out. That's probably going to be your suicide lane now. Last time they did run him as a solo mid, but I think that was mainly because of the way they drafted. It was just one of those sort of things where they wanted Windrunner, they also wanted a Darkseer. And so they staged their lanes accordingly and had Windrunner go middle. But typically we'll see her in a suicide lane. Now, we could also see Enigma if we're talking about a really hard tri lane that's got some sort of carry farming up. If you can just rely on the Enigma denies to sort of lessen that farm, we could see that happen. Enigma won't get nearly as much golden experience right away, especially if the supports are in control of that lane and are able to get your stacks and pulls and that sort of thing. Because the only way Enigma gets experience is by denying and forcing the lane back to his tower via, you know, just being able to deny and etc. We're going to see bans coming out, Shadow Demon and Lich being banned out by Potm Bottom, and we're going to see Queen of Pain and Syllabear banned out by HelloMoto. And the 4th pick coming out, Vengeful Spirit coming out from Potm Bottom, which of course, great counter to Enigma. Doesn't matter if he has BKB, Vengeful Spirit, all she really needs, I mean, preferably level 11, just because that level 1 is so kind of short. But all she has to do is be in good position, and there goes that ultimate. Now, part of the problem is you put yourself in kind of a bad position. If you get 1 or 2 seconds off of that black hole before you get the swamp, You got to think about your positioning there. You're putting all of your heroes in a very tight circle like that. So it does have its opportunities for failure, but it is one of the best counters to an Enigma. Instant swap, taking it out. We're going to see the CM picked up as the support for HelloMoto. And so I'm kind of interested. They did this last time where their lanes were really interesting. They pretty much could do so many different things with their lanes. They had the opportunity, if they wanted to jungle. They had a bunch of solos. Both Darkseer and Windrunner they had on their team, and both those heroes very much enjoy the suicide lane. They opted to put Darkseer against it because they actually put Darkseer and Lich together in a lane, so constant denies, and on top of that, Ion Shell. And it was all because it was versus a Riki. They absolutely destroyed the Riki's farm. Taking away one creep for every creep wave with the Lich. And then on top of that, Ion Shell and creep waves, meaning that Riki, a very squishy agility hero, he has to trade health for gold. And you just don't have very much health. So eventually, once he starts running out of regen, he just has to leave the creep wave alone. And just wait for the Ion Shell to do its work before he can try, and then he's trying to last hit against a tower. Anyway, so HelloMoto, man, watch for them to try and dominate the lanes. It is something that they did very, very well. They took an early advantage. Tidehunter picked up from Potm Bottom, and that is just a lot of team fight right there. A lot of team fight. Now, they could do one or two things here, but I'm expecting to see Fury on jungle. Now, Fury on jungle, I'm not the biggest fan of it, just because if you actually look at the farm that Furion gets from jungling compared to other jungling heroes, it's subpar. He really doesn't farm the jungle that well. Now, the big advantage, of course, is ganking. You never see the Furion because he's in the jungle, so you have no idea when he's teleporting. And next thing you know, they're jumping on you with Furion teleporting behind you, and that's how he gets all his golden experiences. He wins other lanes for you via teleport. So that is what I'm expecting to see with the Darkseer Suicide lane and the Invoker solo mid, with a potential, thank you Azu. I even have this card.
Prepare for battle.
And I even slightly forgot about it there. Anyway, Darkseer is going to be the Suicide lane, Invoker solo mid, and we're going to see a farming Tidehunter. And I really like to see this. If you're going to pick up that Tidehunter, if you grab the if you grab a really fast Ravage, it just can completely turn around. Once you start transitioning outside of that laning phase, just a good Ravage just guarantees kills so quickly. So we're going to see that farming up at bottom versus the Windrunner Suicide lane bottom, and the CM Leshrac is going to be a dual middle. It looks like Enigma is going to be jungling, but first he's going to get that deny at bottom to help out Windrunner in any way he can. So that's a nice little play there. And it's going to be Storm Spirit solo top versus the Darkseer. I think this is pretty smart. This is pretty smart by HelloMoto. First of all, you're putting the Storm Spirit, a ranged hero, versus the Darkseer. But on top of that, he does threaten melees very, very well with his Q ability. That nuke is just very, very threatening. Now, Darkseer doesn't have to get close to the lane in order to CS. All he has to do is spam Ion Shell. But still, you won't be able to last hit quite as well. And let's go ahead. This is going to be the first time that we've done this. But let's go ahead. Oh, actually, Vengeful Spirit kind of get caught out a little bit, but all he's going to do is take a stun while the Windrunner picks up the double damage. So that's a nice little pickup for her. She's not going to be as threatened by this Vengeful Spirit, who has already taken a bit of damage. You add in the fact that you have twice the amount of her damage, and Vengeful Spirit not really going to be able to force Nebaz off quite as easily. So, top to bottom, left to right, let's go over who's playing what. We got Aoi 2000 on the Invoker, MTW Kabop on Vengeful Spirit, Snaking on Darkseer, Kizzles on Nature's Prophet, and Tidehunter. Thinking about you on that Tidehunter, which is Beatiz. Beatiz, always trolling with the name changes. I swear. He is one of those fiends. And then for the HelloMoto team, actually they're going to try and jump in on this Darkseer, or at least do a little bit of harassment. Storm Spirit not doing anything. We got, I'm sorry, but I will not be able to pronounce these. I'm just going to call him Q on Storm Spirit. We got Nebaz on Windrunner, Savadoom on Crystal Maiden, PSTM on Enigma, and Pimpalicious on Leshrac. See, that's what I like to see from a European team. A nice English word, like pimpalicious. Or I should say American word. Anyway, so as it stands right now, it is a Leshrac versus Invoker middle, which CSing-wise, I mean, last time, HelloMoto did amazingly well with their Leshrac CSing, but really the advantage should be given to an Invoker, especially if Leshrac is not opting for taking a bit of cold snap damage. That's just so frustrating as an Invoker. If he doesn't opt to max out Lightning Storm, he really should be losing in CS. Now, if he maxes out Lightning Storm, he has the ability to both harass and get some good CSing in. But without that, he's in a bit of trouble. Windrunners actually might go down here. Kizzled trying to get the Sprout, but it's not going to go off just because Windrunner, I don't know, she wasn't level 2, so she didn't have Power Shot. But Furion has trees instead because he is jungling, so that's why. Unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have a little bit harder time. I know as whenever I watch games, I find it infuriating, when the caster doesn't, when the cameraman doesn't switch between items, clicking on different heroes, seeing what their skill build is, what their items are, etc., etc. But I did opt to give my broadcaster slot to my cameraman, Azu, so I have to do that whole... I know there is, yeah. Close tab. Oh, yeah, sorry. Good call. So Savadoom already doing the stacking and pulling, which is so essential. Leshrac being threatened a little bit by a Furion. That's just the power of Furion. At any point, you can't really overextend anywhere in your lanes because a good team will be communicating to their Furion. If they ever see an opportunity, they're going to jump on it real quickly. I mean, that's the reason Windrunner is level 1. Even though she does, even though Vengeful Spirit isn't the greatest counter to a Windrunner, in order to keep her out of lane, all because of that Furion, it means that Windrunner can't really turn and fight. She can't turn and fight on this Vengeful Spirit, especially if she doesn't have Power Shot, because all they have to do is get a Furion teleport, Furion teleporting in middle. You're going to see the Cyclone followed up by the Sprout. Oh, he stops the Sprout. There it goes. He finally goes off. Pimpalicious instantly eating away. A very nice escape, and Invoker even taking quite a bit of damage there from the tower and the illusions. So, in the end, I think that was a perfect trade for Leshrac. He didn't lose too much health, and Invoker took as much as he did. So, very well done. And pretty much this is going to be a spam fest up at top. Darkseer is able to get experience just because CM isn't able to force him quite out as well. It really requires Storm Spirit to have mana and be level 6 for her to really force him out. Otherwise, he doesn't have that mobility. They're going to try and jump on Snaking here. Snaking gonna be in a little bit of trouble, but he's just gonna take a little bit of harassment before he surges. Leshrac actually picks up the Nature's Prophet kill at bottom, but meanwhile, Snaking trying to jump on Crystal Maiden. He's just taking so much damage. The slow does go off. If he trades himself here for the CM, it will not be worth it. Potion going off by Savadoom. He's just trying to give himself enough health. But there goes Snaking. He's going to trade himself for the Crystal Maiden. A Crystal Maiden who is level 2. Oh, there you go, Q. You got it. There you go. He does finally pick up that kill, which is a lot of golden experience to Storm Spirit. CM was only level 2. And so, the fact that they trade a level 5 Darkseer for that is just huge. Leshrac getting turned around on the Cold Snap, followed up. Furion's going to see nice little teleport coming in. They're going to try and save it with the CM. The Frostbite goes off, saving Leshrac from any auto attacks. Very well done. Savadoom, great movement so far. It was, I guess it was rather fortunate that he did die, because he was at base, he was ready to teleport out anyway. So very nicely timed. Crystal Maiden doing some great work. Let's go ahead and check out the CS score. We got 20-1 on the Enigma, 19-2 on Leshrac. But the big of CS right now is 39-6 on this Storm Spirit. He's just pretty much free farming. He is a range hero, so he doesn't care that much about Darkseer's ability to throw on double ion shells. The only time he really cares is if he can't outlast hit the tower, like he is right now. He's going to be forced to try and outlast hit the tower. Invoker, though, in middle is only 18-6. Pimpalish is actually winning the CS war right now, arguably. And I would say it's sort of even. He has more denies and that sort of thing. But, nice little Surge going off. Surge is going to fade off here real quickly. Actually, Snake King must have gotten 2 levels in it. He did. He got 2 levels in that surge, and now he's trying to run away. He does have enough for vacuum. The Q has to be very careful. That Enigma, very smart play. Throwing that down, another surge. Oh, Savadoom so close. He does get the slow off. Very nicely done, hitting that, and Snake King is going to go down. Leshrac was even on his way to top, and looks like they're going to try and threaten this tower with the Enigma in lane at level 6. They have Eidolons. They're going to force down a very fast tower. I think it's a pretty smart move. Leshrac is constantly in danger in middle with the Nature's Prophet. He's been dealing with it very, very well. But it is a very dangerous position, so instead, they're going to use this Leshrac, who has maxed out Edict over Lightning Storm, which again puts him in a kind of worse position in the lane, but it puts him in a better position once they start transitioning out of the laning phase. Nibaz, he's going to go down here. He just needs to win run, but it's not going to be up. He already win ran away. So even if they do pick up that kill, it doesn't matter. They can't do anything about the tier 1. Kizzles, who is maxed out trees, but it only has level 3 so far. That is no comparison to an Edict. No comparison whatsoever. They're just going to force down this tier 2 and easily trade tier 2 for tier 1 at the very least. They might try to TP and defend, but Nature's Prophet still working on those trees. On top of that, the power shots coming in, just doing a little bit of harassment and mobbing down the creeps a little bit. They actually didn't do hardly any damage to the tower. I was expecting a bit more. Even middle didn't take a whole lot from this Invoker, so a very smart play by HelloMoto. They take a very fast lead in this game. 3,000 gold lead. 8 minutes in. Taking those 2 towers, that's what it's all about right now. They've done decently in CS. The fact that Leshrac was able to keep even with Aoi 2000 as a Leshrac versus an Invoker, with ganks coming in from Nature's Prophet, that's just amazing. Amazing. You running away from the Hippolyte, just a little bit of trouble here. He is going to go down, followed up all those stuns. So big ganks coming in from Potm Bottom. I don't know, that feels kind of like they're feeling a little bit of pressure. The fact that they're going all in like that. They teleport 4 heroes. They put 4 heroes in middle with the Furion teleporting. Just to be able to pick up the Leshrac and maybe pick up the tier 1. But if they don't pick up the tier 1, you picking up the Darkseer with the help of Enigma, I missed that. I'm so sorry. I was just so focused on explaining the fact that they 4-middled, right? 4 heroes. That means Windrunner was able to free farm bottom, and they were able to pick up the kill at top. So essentially, they traded kills there and got some extra CS. Now, yes, they did get some good chip damage on the tower, and it will go down very soon, I expect. Metal Tower is one of those towers that is pretty important. If you can take that down fairly early, that really limits the mobility of the team. Because that means your solo mid, anytime he's there farming, he's kind of put in a bad position without that teleport, without that tower to teleport to. Furion has a better position. He can teleport, you know, behind the heroes much easier. They're going to jump in this nice Cyclone, hitting 3 heroes, followed up by the Ravage. It's a big team fight for Potm Bottom. They're going to pick up at least 1 hero, maybe 2 here. Great Black Hole. Big Black Hole from PTSTM. They're going to fish off Kabop here, and they're going to try and turn around a little bit on this. We're going to see the teleports in from Q. Q trying to do what work he can. He's jumping on the Tidehunter now. He does not have enough for his nuke. He's trying to throw it, but it's not going to be enough to finish him off, and it looks like that's just going to be a 1-for-2 trade there. The CM even living. Enigma, what? Killed by a neutral. Where did that? Oh, man. What happened? I completely missed that. 5-6. 10 minutes in. And I'm just all over the place. A 3,000 gold lead right now. Still for the Dire. Getting a little bit better. Regen. Oh, my goodness. Regen on that Storm Spirit. They're going to start threatening this tier 1. He's going to try and jump in on the Invoker, but is not enough to get that leash off. And now he's going a little deep. He's got to be very careful. Your Cyclones coming out. Enigma coming in with his, uh-oh. This could be bad. PSTM with the mech save. Helping him a little bit. Aoi 2000 getting turned around here. He put himself way too far forward. And the rest of his team was snaking with nothing really on him. He didn't have a whole lot of mana. There was no big ion shell on him. He wasn't in front or anything like that. So I-2000 kind of overextending a bit. We're going to see them starting to pressure in the middle tower with Eidolons at maxed out at level 4. I like this build on the Enigma.
Radiant's middle tower
Going straight for that mech. Not opting for the Blink Dagger. I think that's a pretty smart choice considering you're talking about 3 really big spells. It doesn't require a whole lot of positioning to hit a good Ravage, to hit a good Vacuum, to hit a good swap on this Enigma. There's no way he's getting off a good ultimate. So instead, opting for more team fight. Pretty classic. Neba is trying to get some sort of levels on him. He's been allowed to farm up bottom here and there. He did get crushed reasonably. I mean, no one expecting that Windrunner to do too well with the Furion teleporting in. But now he's making his way back with the CS while the rest of his team tries to put in a little bit of pressure. Leshrac with the invis, looking for some sort of opportunity, but 3 heroes mixed up. If just 1 or 2 of them, if it was just 1 or 2, that would be a great opportunity for Storm Spirit to latch in. But instead, Leshrac, knowing that the 2 of them can't pick off anybody, he's going to go mid and try and pick off Kabop. And it's a little hard to land that stun, but with the invis, wow, he's not going for it at all. Instead, he's going for the positioning. Oh, maybe he's going to go back. He's just all over the place here. Now he no longer has that invis as the surprise setup for his stun. But Enigma is going to come in. He's going to hit his stun. Followed up. Kabop is easily going to go here. Nice little stun, but it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, bottom, Crystal Main teleporting away, but the vacuum stops and Savadoom does go down. A lot of heroes teleporting bottom. 3 of them, I believe. I believe that was all 3 heroes teleporting bottom. Furion, of course, does have that free teleport, but they were all top. Instead, opting to go bottom, instead of trying to put pressure on that tower, opting to go bottom, get a pick-off. Unfortunately, with the tier 1 down at bottom, that pick-off doesn't allow them to pressure a tower. That tier 2 is too far down the lane. Storm Spirit going for a very fast Bloodstone. I mean, what else are you going to expect out of a Storm Spirit? Probably going to see that Boost of Travel Bloodstone build on him. He's going to get some really fast charges, and when needed to, he's going to be able to pick up Boots of Travel and just buy back and teleport right back into a team fight. Because they're going to try and put in pressure fairly early onto the racks. Now, they don't have the greatest pushers. Leshrac, yes, Edict is amazing, but he is also very squishy.
Illusion.
So if he doesn't get the farm he wants, Nabaz getting really low. Oh, Furion comes in and finishes him off. Meanwhile, Ali 2000 taking a bit of damage from the teleporting in Enigma. But it's not going to be enough. He's just going to farm away. Anyway, with an Invoker, neither team has really big hard carries. But a big problem with Invoker is he's really strongest getting into the mid game and the late game. He's one of the few heroes, he's pretty much the only intelligence heroes who really gets stronger after level 16. Because he has that Aghanims, he has maxed out Invoke, and he's able to just put more points into those extra spells.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
So combination of Invoker and Furion, and then you add in just the fact that Darkseer, not that his ultimate is amazing against this team, it's not. But it is something to think about. It adds just that little bit of extra damage, that little bit of extra chaos to a team fight. Tanking up Leshrac Edicts and the such, and they're going to 5-man this tower, and Q, I mean, he's going to try and pop what nukes he can to just try and slow down this tower taking. Actually, they're going to force this. Glyph does go off. Nice little bottom revealing the incoming ganks from bottom. There goes Storm Spirit. He's trying to jump in. but both the heroes cyclone each other, and now Q is going to go down here. Great job by IO2000 getting off that tornado. Great Ravage hitting 3 heroes, but here comes BSTM. He's going to try and hit it in some sort of black hole. There it goes, hitting 3 heroes, but he does get swapped, and they're going to go down. Tidehunter with the tankiness that he gets. The tankiness that a Tidehunter gets with Hooded Defiance and just the levels. It's just too much, and that's a complete team wipe. Storm Spirit, he's going to try and teleport in and try and get some sort of pick. All of these heroes are very, very low. But he's going to go for that Invoker, and he is going to pick him up. The Ghost Walk does go off. I wasn't sure if he had enough mana there, but he did, just barely. So very nicely done. Q doesn't pick up anything. The tower doesn't go down, but that was a 5-man. That was a 5-man team wipe in exchange for, I believe, only 2 heroes. Not what you want to see. And already, from that Bloodstone, already at 4 charges. That's just so bad. So bad for your Storm Spirit. Once you pick up that Bloodstone, you really cannot die, or else it just hurts that snowball effect that Bloodstone has. Really going to need to see some I mean, it's just going to be a massive BKB battle for both teams. There's just so much magic damage. Leshrac, I'm wondering if he's going to opt for it. I think he will. He didn't go straight for Bloodstone or anything like that. So I think off of this Drum of Endurance, he really should go BKB. I mean, otherwise, he's just going to have such a hard time. Ravage, Ion Shell, Vacuum, he's done. They're going to try and go in for a fast Roche here. Now, Potm Bottom doesn't have any vision of this. But HelloMoto, I mean, they do have the 1 ward up to see incoming. Vengeful Spirit is going to go in and try and get some sort of ward bottom now. But it's unfortunately too late. He won't be able to reveal them in the Roche pit. Actually, he's going to check it out. They're going to reveal it, but I believe it's way too late. That it is going to go down here. Kebab trying to force this, but he doesn't have any real backup from his team. They were definitely not close enough, and now Snake King might get picked off here as well. Cyclone running through the team, but Snake King might go down anyway. Nice little Frostbite, and that is going to be it. So 2 hero pickups. Very nicely done by HelloMoto. Picking up the Aegis as well. We're going to see Tidehunter picking up a very fast pipe. That's going to be extremely helpful. He already has it. So they've already negated Enigma just via the hero picks. That black hole, I mean, that last black hole was pretty much the best he was going to get. You know, he's always gotten 2 or 3 heroes for 1.5 seconds, pretty much. That's pretty much the best he can hope for at this point. You add in the extra pipe, and that's dodging a lot of magic damage coming around from Storm Spirit and Windrunner. Even Crystal Maiden. But of course, the same can be said of Potm Bottom's team. Leshrac, if he's able to pick up a really fast BKB after this, Enigma's going to go BKB as well. So if he can lock down the Vengeful Spirit, he'll get a full black hole. So it's all going to be up to Vengeful Spirit's positioning. And he just cannot get caught in that black hole. Oh, Storm Spirit, a little bit of trouble. He's going to take a bit of EMP. But he does have enough mana in order to live. This is one unfortunate thing about their team is they don't really have a hero to go pipe on HelloMoto. They don't really have it. Leshrac can't sacrifice his BKB. No, he's not going BKB. Well, he might be going just the point booster into BKB, just because point booster is such a great item considering its cost. The amount of stats it gives is just amazing. It's the same thing as going a vitality booster for later on, but just for the initial stats that it gives. Potm Bottom putting a lot of pressure at top. I think HelloMoto really just want to farm up their next couple of items. The Bloodstone pickup on Storm Spirit, very helpful, but I think they really need that BKB on Enigma before they force the next team fight. Even then, it's still kind of risky. Invoker is just such a dominant factor once you start transitioning out of the laning phase. Especially when you go for the EMP Tornado build. First of all, it's a great build against the others. I mean, against the Storm Spirit, against the Leshrac, it's great. But it also allows Invoker to add a lot more immediately following. Those disables are just so good. Immediately following the laning phase at this 20-minute mark, it's a bit better than an Exort build. You're not putting out as much damage, you don't have that global presence of Sunstrike. But when it comes to full-on 5-on-5 team fights, it provides a lot more very early. So it allows him to put this pressure on. EMP, great EMP Tornado setup. But unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Windrunner coming in from behind with the invis. BKB is up now on Enigma, and they're going to start 5-manning the bottom. Looks like. Tidehunter going back. Tidehunter finishing off the pipe. Really needs to stick with his team if they want to push this tier 2, and it does look like that's what he's going to be doing. And they're just going to go all out here. 5-manning the tower. Enigma is going to have to try and pick up a teleport here and BKB in. But he can't get picked up. He can't get picked off really with that BKB. It doesn't matter. Storm Spirit jumping in, trying to do a bit of work on AOE2000. Here comes the black hole. The question is, Vengeful Spirit, he's trying to go in for this swap, but it's so long. There goes the Ravage. Savadoom is going to go down, but they were able to back up enough to get some decent positioning. Nice little wall coming out, and there goes the Aegis from Storm Spirit. They backed up beautifully from Potm Bottom. They threw down that wall, which separated the rest of the team, and then they backed up beautifully while killing the Storm Spirit. Pimpalicious getting really aggressive here, but what was that? I mean, they have pipe, they have 5 heroes up. You've already lost the team fight. You! Oh, nice little dodge there. Invoker very close to hitting that. It was a great idea, throwing down the deafening blast. But they're going to take this tier 2, and because of that one team fight, they're going to start controlling the map really, really well. Storm Spirit's not going to be able to play as ballsy now. And even then, they're going to transition into the mid to late game relatively well. And Invoker and Furion are going to be able to do some serious work. Furion's going to turn into the sort of attack damage carry. He's going to pick up that sheep. He's going to pick up... he can pick up Deso if he wants after the sheep. And he's just going to be outputting massive amounts of physical damage with the disable as well. Tidehunter, I mean, his best time is right now. Especially as a farming Tidehunter, his best time is once he has that Anchor Smash maxed out. He has Arcane Boots and one other item. Now, sometimes it's a push stick or a blink. This time it's going to be pipe. A much smarter item considering the way team fights are going right now. HelloMoto has a lot of magic damage. Both teams do. BKBs, pipes, magic armor, it's all going to be very important. And Leshrac, I don't know if I agree with this. He grabs the soul booster for the extra stats. Windrunner actually in a bit of trouble. He's going to be sprouted here, but he does have a power shot. He's trying to get out, but the blocks are just too much. The stun following up, so a nice little pick off by Potm Bottom. Anyway, I think this is just delaying his BKB a little bit too much. I'm not sure if I agree with this. I mean, it's nice to get the extra stats, but Pimpalicious in so much trouble now. He has nothing to eat away the trees. All he had was a stun, and when you're cold snapped, you can't even get that off. So now it doesn't matter. Pretty much HelloMoto is going to have to try and control this game via counter pushes and positioning. They cannot force a 5-on-5 anymore. That Aegis, without the Aegis, they're just done for. Now PSTM is going to get cut off here. Kabop is going to be able to throw a swap down. There it goes. And he is going to go down. Storm Spirit going to try and threaten the tier 3. Force and teleports back. But it only requires a Tidehunter. Tidehunter is going to be enough. Nice Shackle Shot coming out from Windrunner. But I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. They're going to try to teleport. Nice shot. Storm Spirit coming in and finishing him off. Q does not have mana to really keep going. Cyclone coming in as well. Nice little vacuum again. The Shackle Shot. But they really just have to get out now. Tidehunter with the push. That Force Staff is just so good on a Tidehunter. He has mana problems. I mean, after Arcane Boots, it's not as terrible. But he still has some decent mana problems. But the most important thing about a Force Staff is the fact that, in my opinion, it's much better than a Blink on a farming Tidehunter. It's because Tidehunter, when he's farming like this, when it's a farming Tidehunter, he's not all about the Ravage and then he's done. He's about positioning in this team fight. He lives through the team fight. He's not going to get popped, ever. So it's just all about spamming Anchor Smash over and over. Vacuum coming in. There comes the Ravage. The Black Hole, though. It catches Vengeful Spirit, but he has no backup. If there's not enough damage being output, and this is going to be a turnaround. HelloMoto cannot do anything. It's a nice attempt, but the team was already dead. Storm Spirit was gone. Windrunner wasn't there. Combined with the pipe, they just don't have enough. And that is going to be a full team wipe. Potm Bottom gonna be threatening Rax here, and Storm Spirit's the only one who's gonna be alive to try and defend it. And it's gonna be to take just a couple seconds, really, for them to be able to take this tower. To start working on the Rax. Storm Spirit just gonna have to run back and forth pretty much. The only thing he can do. So that's gonna be Rax 28 minutes in. This is not where HelloMoto wants to be. They got the first big black hole. I mean, all the other ones were decent. But they only last for a second, maybe two, every single time. And that's to be expected against this team. Potm Bottom, a strong North American team. With the Vengeful Spirit and that many disables, it's just too hard to hit a black hole. So the very first big black hole that they've really hit with the BKB on and also catching out the Vengeful Spirit, they didn't have the damage. It's already too late. I mean, maybe if Storm Spirit was alive, but Storm Spirit already got caught off. Maybe if Windrunner was there, but she wasn't. Getting caught off here. Two heroes going to go down easily, picking off these two. There goes the Gush. PSTM really just had to abandon that. There was no way he was going to be able to save his teammates, and really he just adds another corpse to the fire. Three heroes going down.
I'll tell you limb from limb. Pull roots and run.
Leshrac, man, he just, I mean, with the extra stats he had the health to be able to live through the initial ravage, stuns, whatever. But now, it's just way too much. Invoker's getting a lot of damage now. Swap's coming out. Second set of racks are going to go down, and this is going to be GG for HelloMoto. I mean, just like that, they weren't very far behind for very long. But it just, in a very short amount of time, look at it. I mean, just a 5-minute period where it just shot up so quickly. And we're going to call it GG. We're going to go on to game 2. This is a best of 3. Potm Bottom taking game 1. We're going to move on to game 2. Potm Bottom versus HelloMoto. And I'm going to stick around for the scoreboard, actually.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Man, I just really did not like that Bloodstone pickup. Or not even Bloodstone pickup. The attempted pickup on that Leshrac. Because they were already so far behind. Not so far behind. They were just already in precarious position. The Bloodstone's more of a snowballing item. If you don't get it fast and you don't start dominating the team fights, it's really useless. All you have to do is die twice without picking up any kills, and it's pretty much useless there.
Dire's entrance is under attack. Dire's ancient is under attack. Radiant victory.
And there goes the throne. Alright guys, I'm just going to leave up the scoreboard for 1 or 2 seconds. And we're going to go ahead and move on to game 2. Guys, don't go anywhere. We're just taking a very, very short break. And we will be right back.